Hello, Capricorn. Saturn is retrograde in the sign of Scorpio to Scorpion until the 2nd of August, and then will go direct also in Scorpio. It'll remain in Scorpio, but it will go direct. All right, now on the 3rd, Jupiter is in Leo and square Saturn, and which will be, again, we just said, in Scorpio. So this is a little formula that we're going to, it's like a little problem we're going to solve, a little formula, and we'll put it at the end of the transmission, the afterglow, where we have our planetary aspects and our facets, and we'll just sort of go over that. And so stay tuned for that. It'll be fun for you and fun for us as well. Now let's see how your ruling planet of Saturn affects you this month, Capricorn. I'm Pastor Rosemary, Astrology Angel. Thank you for joining us. Your guardian angel is Uriel. And this is an angelic horoscope transmission from your mighty guardian angel, the Earth Angel, Uriel, who resides over all the Earth signs. And your specific Capricorn angel, Hanael, who resides over your cardinal Earth nature. And these are his messages for you in love, money, and health. And first we're going to get into the love transmission to go over how romance is going to be set up for you this month and how to best play off of these various planetary events. Okay, now the romantic competition is going to uptick. It's going to go up. You're going to have a lot more competition in the area of romance, even friendship. And, you know, this goes over all of the emotional aspects of your life. So you'll be having to compete for your position in family. You'll have to compete for your position with your friends, people trying to steal friends from you. And you'll have to compete in romance, in love. This actually is more familiar to you. It's more how you would like your life to be, because you do well in competition. You're a good competitor. You're someone who thrives off of competition because it's healthy, and you're a healthy sign. So that goes into the relationship area, into the money area, and in the health area. This tendency you have to be healthy because you don't run from competition. You face competition, and you enjoy you enjoy a good sportsman-like event, right? So this kind of thing is going to put you into, again, a very good situation in all of these areas of your life. But we'll talk right now specifically about love. You just don't want to become self-destructive, because, again, you thrive when your emotions are tugged at. You thrive when you feel like you have emotional, familial, friendship, or romantic situations to have like a contest. You need it to feel like a contest. You need to feel that you are winning a contest, that you're in control of the situation. You can, make people do what you need them to do in a format like a contest. So this will be a month where you might tend to feel a little self-destructive if you don't feel that you can control everything you want to control. So just remember to control the self, or others will control you. And if you control the self and focus on doing things in such a way that make you happy, rather than it only being about winning, you'll avoid the tendency to be self-destructive. That's going to be very important. Do not get self-destructive. It's just the way the astrological events might hit you, this month. It might feel funny in that way. It might make you feel kind of depressed or something. So you can stay on the positive side of that, again, by using situations in a positive way. Again, you're good at contests. you're good at competition. You win competition, even if you don't realize you're winning it. And that's probably the key or the crux of the situation, is that you do win in romantic or friendship or familial contests or competition, but you don't realize that you win. And that will help you stay emotionally and spiritually healthy and help you not become destructive. We don't want you to do that. We want to keep you healthy and wealthy and wise. Now on the 14th, the new moon is in Leo, and that's going to cause you to be able to say no easier, but it'll cause other people to be able to say no easier too. And fire signs will have an easier time saying no, and then air signs, and then water, and then it'll be harder for you, earth. Just, this is not always, it's just at this time during this full moon event. And, the little bit of ripple effect that goes before and after that. On the 29th, the full moon in Pisces, you'll feel more feisty, and you'll be someone who can, do nothing and accomplish everything, because you are able to do quite a lot, and you're a hard worker, but you'll get more into the sort of spiritual aspect of centering yourself and being able to do nothing and accomplish everything in various aspects of your life. And this will again help your romantic life, where you don't have to do much and people come towards you. It'll be easier for you. And this lunar event will be more in your favor, or make you feel stronger, this full moon in Pisces, whereas the masculine signs of the zodiac that reside in the elements of fire and air will be less likely to feel strong at that time. So you see how these things fluctuate. Now, Hanael's money transmission for you, Capricorn, is that competition in the marketplace is another area where you are going to be able to have vast creative opportunities, since Saturn's going to go direct in Scorpio, which is Scorpio's I create, and your I use or I utilize. You know how to utilize your resources. And if people say that you're using things or that you're a user, well, what good is anything if you don't use it? What good is a pencil if you don't write with it? So, don't really pay too much attention when people say things like that to you. Because, everything has a time and a place. Be sure about what you want to do. And before, look before you leap, and be sure about what you want to do, because others are going to be wanting to sort of drag you around by the nose and make you do this and make you do that, and just do what you want to do. And if you're not sure, don't do anything. And then when you're sure, you can move forward, and make sure it's something congruent with your true inner self. Because we all have 3 layers. We have outer layer, inner layer, and a very core. So, and we can say, the person will say, well, you look like this is who you are, and then you have this other part of you, and then there's the deeper part of you that will match the outer part of you, actually. So, but then people sometimes play their inner aspect. So these kinds of psychological things are going to come more to the forefront during August for you. So remember to just stay congruent with who you are. It doesn't matter what other people think you are, or who they think you are, or what they think you are. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you know who you are and what makes you feel well. Not what makes you feel good, what makes you feel well. Good, is fine. But some people, when they say good, what makes you feel good, that sometimes they take that into areas of unhealthy behaviors. So to make it clear, we'll say do what makes you feel well, not what makes you feel good. And you'll do that. This is going to be very important for you this month of August. Otherwise, again, it could be difficult for you financially, where you could begin to have addictive behaviors with what you're doing with your money and work and finances. Now for the health transmission from Hanael. Your first and second chakras are going to surge. So, and this is again with the direct Saturn direct in Scorpio on the second. So use your different various forms of breathing techniques or yoga or martial arts or some form of body calming and breath-centered practice, and make sure that you utilize it to direct the strong energies from your first and second chakras so that you don't injure yourself. Injuries may be something, whereas if you're getting too competitive in any of the areas we already talked about, or even with sports, you could possibly go a little bit too far and end up injuring yourself. So it's not that you need to pull back, and it's not win contests, and it's not that you need to be frightened. It's just that you need to be mindful of what you're doing, be in the moment, because it's in the moment. I like to call it being in the present as a present from God. I like to call it, it's like if you're in the future, there's no power to create. If you're in the past, there's no power to create. If your mind is surging forward, your mind is surging backwards. But that's not going to help you. But if you're in the center of the now, of the moment, that's the present that God gives you. Because it's called the present for a reason. That's where the true power is, in the moment, in the eternal now. And that's where eternity is. Eternity, you're not going to find eternity in the future. You're not going to find eternity in the past. You're going to find it right now. Also, people are going to be trying to bully you probably this month, because they're going to see you starting to get very creative and moving forward and doing much better than they, and they're going to get jealous, and they're going to maybe try to bully you a little bit. So simply let it go in one ear and out the other when they start with their banter and their rhetoric. Don't listen to it. Let it go in one ear, out the other. Have a little Teflon. Don't let it get to you too much. It's easier said than done, but do your best to not let it get to you. And remember, it's because people are going to be jealous. Okay? And there are numerous planetary squares this month, so that will be affecting you. So this is going to test your resolve. So in order to stay healthy, again, you need to simply be mindful and be purposeful and pace yourself, stay in the moment, and try to get into some of you're a healthy sign, but try to get into some of your centering techniques that have some form of focus on breathing. Whether you're into yoga or whether you're into some martial art or other sports exercise, it doesn't matter. Just do something that you do to center. And that will be very important and keep you very healthy and strong and prevent injuries this month. Again, stay in the present. You might want to do some abdominal breathing, the lower abdomen, and just do some belly breathing. Not really from the third chakra, more from the second. Very lower abdominal breathing. Like when you were a baby, and that puts you into the crown chakra. That's the babe. And, they say that Kether is in Malkuth and Malkuth is in Kether, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about getting you into that trusting state where you can kind of merge into the crown chakra of Kether, where everything's sort of eternal. That's where everything's eternal and annihilated, yes? But very conscious in the eternal now, not concerned for the present, not concerned for the future, not concerned for the past. In the present, there really isn't any concern. There's just being. Because all is well. Okay. Now we're going to go over your planetary aspects and facets. We're going to go over that problem that we mentioned at the end of this. So Saturn is, again, retrograde in Scorpio until the 2nd, and then goes direct in Scorpio on the 2nd. Your ruling planet. On the 3rd, Jupiter squares Saturn. That's the one we're going to go over. and do the little formula. On the 5th, Venus retrograde squares Saturn. On the 6th, Mars trines Saturn. On the 6th, again, this other aspect is Mercury squares Saturn. On the 12th, Ceres sextile Saturn. On the 26th, Mercury sextile Saturn. Okay, for this formula, we have on the 3rd, the formula is like this. We have Jupiter in Leo, and that squares Saturn in Scorpio. So, what does that do? What does that bring us to? The formula, the answer that we got for that was that generosity tries to or attempts to override new laws that have been set. In other words, people feel that if they have great gobs of money, they're entitled, and they can just kind of brush through other people's laws or disrespect other people's personal boundaries, disrespect other people's businesses, disrespect, that kind of thing, is what people will be doing. So you may have laws set, you may have boundaries set, and then people who have great gobs of cash may feel that they can just come in and just brush away your laws and your personal integrity and your personal boundaries. And no, they can't. So it's an important month to understand that people will be saying, well, you know, I have all this money, so I don't need to follow your rules. Well, that's all fine and wonderful, but if they're not giving you any of that money, what good is their money, right? So they're not entitled unless they're actually giving you some money. And how exactly are they giving you money? So you have your own rules which you have set up for yourself, for your life in all the various aspects of your life. And you should not let those laws be loosened. You should keep your laws strict and in place. And you don't have to push them on others, but when people bring their nonsense up against those laws, they will find that if you say to like say someone wants to buy a hamburger, and McDonald's says, okay, it costs, you know, just as an example, it costs this much money for a hamburger, and then, you know, people say, well, I'm rich, I don't need to pay you, and I don't need to, you know, be respectful to your employee. You know, no, they do need to be respectful. They do need to behave appropriately. And then they do need to pay whatever the price for that particular hamburger is. If they want a cheaper hamburger, they can get that. So you cannot, there's no reason to move your boundaries just because someone feels entitled. So if people want people to be fair, then all people should be treated fairly. Because to, you know, treat some people different than others is going to, that's a form of discrimination. So if you have, you know, special laws that are in place to take care of special people, that's fine. Like, you know, say certain people who, you know, need certain provisions made for them, and you've already done that. That's fine. You can leave that in place. But these kinds of arguments are going to really come up about people who feel entitled, and what is considered prejudice, and what's discriminatory and what's not discriminatory. I mean, at one point, it just gets where everything's discriminatory, or everybody gets treated the same, but then is that truly the way it is? So there's going to be a lot of debate about that this month. And that could drive you crazy. So what you need to do is just stick with the laws you've already made. They're fine. And just, rather than changing laws, just enforce the ones you already have. How about that? And there we are. All right. Thank you for joining us, Capricorn. I'm Pastor Rosemary, the Astrology Angel. This is your monthly angelic horoscope transmission. Join us again next month.